Our planet has been restless ever since its birth more than 4.5 billion years ago. About 150 million years ago, a huge landmass called Gondwana started breaking apart and drifted away from what is today Antarctica. As the land that would be the Indian subcontinent started its journey, a piece that would become Madagascar broke away, leaving huge cliffs on one side. During its long journey, massive eruptions of magma from below the lithosphere created a string of mountains on its western side. This, together with the cliffs, is what we call the Western Ghats. Ancient rivers have drained these mountains, evolving and changing their courses continuously in response to these dramatic events. Dinosaurs have now ruled the land for about 150 million years. But an event that would change the planet forever was about to happen. 65 million years ago, an asteroid crashed into Earth, setting off a chain of devastating events. Impact was equal to that of 1 billion atomic bombs. Massive earthquakes, forest fires and tsunamis raged. A blanket of toxic ash and dust covered the planet completely. Sunlight was blocked. Almost all life was wiped out. And then came the acid rains that killed the remaining flora, poisoning the rivers and the oceans. This was the 5th mass extinction the planet had seen. And what survived came out of the ashes to create a new planet. The Western Ghats, extending from Gujarat down to the southern tip of India, is about 1,600 kilometers long. One of the oldest geographical creations on Earth, it has been home to some of the most biologically diverse life forms found nowhere else on the planet. In a remote place, high up in the Western Ghats of Kerala, originates the Kabini, the main tributary of the Cauvery. Fed by streams from torrential rains, this river rages down and takes refuge downhill. Forests surround these waters and are a haven for all things wild. types are one of the main sources of agricultural produce, with roughly half of them being paddy and the other half semi-dry crops. In the Kabini's path is the historical town of Nanjangud. Lord Shiva is represented here as the one who drank poison. The Nanjundeshwara temple here was built around the 11th century CE and developed by many dynasties. Kaundinya, a minor river, joins the Kabini here. Near the confluence is a temple for Parashurama, who is believed to have performed penance here for the sin of killing his mother. The bridge across the Kabini here, built in 1730, is the oldest in India. The Cauvery, after leaving the Sangam at Srirangapatna, creates a bird sanctuary at Mahadevpura, home to several species of wildlife. One of the jewels of architecture and sculpture anywhere along the Cauvery is to be found in Somnathpura. This glorious Keshawa temple on her banks was constructed by Somanatha under the rule of Hoysala king Narasimha III in 1258 CE. The walls and pillars have exemplary carvings from Ramayana, Mahabharata and Bhagavata Purana. Legend says that this temple was so artistically built that the gods themselves wanted to lift it to the heavens. As if in testimony, the temple stands on a raised platform. Sosali, where the British crossed the Cauvery on their way to defeat Tipu Sultan, is the home of Vyasaraya Math. Vyasaraya was the spiritual head of the Vijayanagara kings and even ruled in place of the great Krishnadevaraya during an inauspicious time. It was created by one of his followers, Raghunatha Tirtha, who had meditated for long on the banks of the Cauvery. The confluence of the Kabini with the Cauvery, a short way down at Tirumakudalu Narasipura, is one grand spectacle, particularly when both rivers are in full flow. A mythical river, Svatika, is believed to join the confluence here. On the Kabini side of the confluence stands the ancient temple of Lord Vishnu, Gunja Narasimha. In the middle of the confluence is the temple of Lord Agasthiswara. And on the Cauvery side is a temple for Lord Bikeshwara. Human civilization, dating back to the Neolithic period, has been discovered here and at Talakad nearby. The combined waters of the Kabini and Cauvery now flow past massive curves filled with green trees and fields on both sides. On a beautiful hill stands the temple of Lord Mallikeshwara, one of the 5 sacred Shivalingas in that area. More than 600 years ago, during the Vijayanagara period, barrage and channels were built to help with irrigation. This barrage still stands and continues to serve agricultural needs. As the Cauvery goes around another large curve, we reach Talakad, one of the oldest cities in Karnataka. Excavations have revealed a large number of ancient temples, some of them brilliant in their architectural splendor. The Gangas, Cholas, Hoysalas, Vijayanagara kings, and the Mysore kings have ruled this land. The Cauvery here is almost a kilometer wide. This is probably one of the strangest lands in the Cauvery's course today, covered with sand dunes. Archaeological excavations have revealed that these dunes formed in the 17th century CE during a severe drought when the strong southwesterly winds deposited fine grains of sand all over Talakad. A belief by many attributes this barren landscape to the curse of a lady who faced injustice at the hands of the Wadeyar king around the same period. Thrice you shall part, and I will recline on your laps, said Lord Vishnu to Cauvery. This is the second island she creates, Madhyarangam. On this beautiful island of Shivasamudra also stands a Shiva temple and the tomb of a Sufi saint. So many legends of gods, kings, demons and sages are associated with Shivasamudra, including the Ramayana. Cauvery's indescribable grandeur is seen here. Her 2 branches create the natural wonders of Shivasamudra. The western branch falls down a precipice about 100 meters deep and is called Gaganachukki. Eastern branch curves around and cascades down a massive horseshoe-shaped fall called Barachuki. The spray, mist, and sheer mass of water all around resemble an ocean. The greatness and goodness of Cauvery at Shivasamudra will linger in our hearts forever. Northwest of Channapatna, flowing mostly during the rainy season, is the river Kanva. On the banks of the Kanva are historic villages including Doddamalur and Mallurpatna. The ancient temples here date back to the Chola period. The poet-composer Purandaradasa, who lived during the 1500s, rendered one of his great compositions standing in front of the Vishnu temple at Doddamalur. Further up north, around the hills surrounding Tumkur, the land is dotted with many lakes. From here originates the river Shimsa, with its holy source considered to be in Devarayana Durga. On its course is a village called Kokkarebellur, famous for the migratory birds that congregate to nest here under the protection of the villagers. The Kanva merges with the Shimsa and flows south to join the Cauvery a little way down from Shivasamudra in the middle of forests and mountains. This stretch is popular for angling, resorts, and even has a school for the Vedas. Around 25 kilometers north of Bengaluru, in the undulating lands, a small river, Arkavati, flows during heavy rains. Its source is considered to be in the Nandi Hills. This river eventually drains into the reservoirs at Tippagondanahalli and Manchanaballi. The area, surrounded by beautiful hills, contributes to making the Arkavati a large river. The Arkavati joins the Kaveri at the Sangam in Mekadatu. The combined waters flow south to reach a spectacular series of rocky crevices and ravines. The Kaveri now leaves Karnataka and enters Tamilnadu. But what does she know or care about man-made boundaries? For all the land she flows upon belongs to her, the land of the Kaveri.